In the greatest movie of American cinema, a great man once said, "I've had enough of these mother-frickin' leaks about this mother-frickin' E3. A couple days ago, Nintendo's entire E3 event was apparently posted online for us all to see. You don't even have to watch it in a couple months' time, you can just go and read it right now. And I want to talk about the things in that leak that are most likely true, and then the things that are, I think you're pandering a little bit there to get your post retweeted. As much as we would all love a new Paper Mario that goes back to that old formula, probably not going to happen this soon after the last one. But I didn't even get the chance to make that video before some buffoon at Walmart updated the Walmart website with every single game coming out from now until the end of 2019. A bunch of games that weren't even announced yet. And typically when you hear about something like this, it gets debunked pretty soon thereafter. There's always that little detail that they miss that everyone's like, yeah, this is obviously a fake. But the fact that no one's found any solid evidence that this is fake yet, as well as Bethesda themselves publicly coming out and being super annoyed about the leak, considering that this is the first we've heard of a Rage 2 game being made. So if Bethesda is actually upset about it, that's probably a real leak. But what is the problem with all these leaks? The problem that I have, the problem that you would have seen in the title of this video. Well, I want to come at it from two angles. One, the problem of so many of them being fake. That's an obvious problem, and we'll get to that in the Nintendo portion. But the other problem is leaks suck. They suck for the gaming industry. It's not fun for anyone to have these things ruined. It'd be like if right now I just told you the Infinity War ending out of nowhere. You clicked on this video not expecting to hear anything like that, but I go and just tell you because I feel like it. But what would be even worse is if I somehow knew the ending months before the movie came out, I made a video like this and just dropped it on the world for everyone to see and ruined it for Marvel and all the moviegoers. And that is what has consistently happened in the gaming world for years now, and it's getting worse and worse. Now that people can monetize their leaks, they can put it on YouTube, they can put it on their websites, and they can get money from the clicks of people going to the website, you've got the side of, if anyone actually has any kind of information, they can't wait to ruin it for everyone else and monetize it. And then you have the other side of the coin, which is the people that put out these Nintendo leaks or so many other leaks that are obviously fake. Because it's so juicy, people want it to be real. They click on it regardless to see if they can debunk it or to find out if it's a real thing that's actually happening. So it's become a complete mess in the gaming industry over the last few years, and what it has led to is gaming companies announcing their games years beforehand. We all complain that every time an E3 comes around, we're hearing about games that aren't gonna come out for years. We all complain about, when are we gonna see more of Final Fantasy VII Remake? You told us about this years ago, why haven't we seen it? A good example is Ubisoft announced a game called Skull and Bones last year, and there hasn't been a single update on that game since. So why announce it when you clearly just started working on it? Games like Metroid Prime 4, where we just get a little splash trailer, a little teaser, and nothing else. Why announce it if you have nothing to show us? Because these companies, they want to be the first one to actually announce it before it inevitably gets leaked and ruined. Because the impact of something being officially announced and finally getting out there into the world can make a big difference in sales, can actually influence a game's success or not. Not everyone has their ears to the ground when it comes to leaks. Not every mum, dad, and casual gamer is out there looking for leaks of a game. So a lot of the times, a lot of these leaks that come out, like this new one, will pass a lot of people by. But what that means is most of the gaming world already knows it's happening, and when they officially get announced at E3, it doesn't make as big of a splash. Even though the company themselves are for the first time announcing their game for the first time ever, it doesn't make as big of a splash because 2 months ago, Walmart already ruined the surprise. And E3 is a thing that a lot of people actually have their eyes on, they're actually paying attention to, or they look up articles for it later on. And when all the YouTubers and all the social media medias and everyone has already talked about it like I am right now, and they've already gushed over the new Rage 2 game, a lot of people miss it. They miss out on that hype. It doesn't get built up as much, and it does affect sales. So if you were a company, what would you want to do at the risk of your game being affected like that? You're going to want to announce it as soon as humanly possible, as soon as you can. Even if that means just throwing some text up at E3 that says this game is coming. And it sucks for everyone involved. It sucks for us as gamers, but it also sucks for the companies and the developers that work years on this game and they can't wait to announce it, and some Joe Schmo at Walmart ruined their moment for them, ruined all the glory, ruined the awesome epic moment they could have had. Now they've got to go to E3 and be like, well, most of you already know, so here it is. I do honestly believe that all of these leaks, whether they're real, whether they're fake, whether they're intentional, whether they're an accident, they have such a negative effect on the gaming industry, and they definitely are affecting E3. And I do think it's a huge problem, and why E3 is becoming just a desperate platform to announce anything that anyone is working on ever, and the reason why the games don't end up coming for years or years or years thereafter. And there's a whole other bunch of avenues I could go down, but it is what it is. There's no way it's ever gonna stop, especially when, as I said, people can monetize it. People can monetize either their fake leaks or their real leaks. It's the state of the gaming industry now, and it's only ever gonna get worse. So, while we're here, I guess we may as well enjoy it. There are a ton of really awesome leaks. I'm just gonna go through them, point out the ones that I'm most excited about and the ones I feel are most surprising about this Walmart leak, and then we're gonna dive into that Nintendo E3 and go through that one really quick. You can't beat them, join them. The Division 2 is interesting because I thought they were gonna do away with that. I didn't think the first game did that well for them. There was a lot of negativity around that game. I personally enjoyed it, but it did feel kind of empty. I'm really excited to see Division 2 because it might actually be that original Division I wanted in the first place. The trailers that we got and the awesome game it seemed to be, and not the watered down version we got, maybe the second one can live up to that hype. Splinter Cell Insurgency Sandstorm, looking at that one right now, I can tell you I don't know what that is. The Last of Us 2, we knew that one was most likely going to happen. Just Cause 4, I'm really excited about, and I didn't know. Again, this is kind of what I mean. I just want to interrupt this. I'm staring at these blank cases with just a name and a black case, and it's so lackluster. It's cool because it's like, oh, that's happening, but where's the trailer? Where's the huge E3 announcement? Where's the excitement? Even if this game wouldn't come out for 3 years, I'd rather have a spectacle put in front of me, and I'd rather the developer tell me themselves than me look at some basic text on a black box and think, that's cool. It does ruin it, man. It's like reading spoilers for a movie before you watch the movie. But let's keep going. Stop watching if you don't want this ruined. Dragon Quest 2, some Far Cry 5 DLC, Destiny Comet, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. It looks like that's finally getting a release in 2019. That's another thing people have been asking about, and all this time, all this hype, all this expectation, and Square Enix didn't even get to announce it themselves. Metroid Prime, that one is kind of obvious, and we'll talk about that in the Nintendo part, but I knew that was coming out 2019. Super Smash Bros, we'll get to that one too. I'm feeling September for that one this year, actually. Borderlands 3 is interesting. Assassin's Creed, just a blanket Assassin's Creed. Assuming that's going to be a new Assassin's Creed isn't really a surprise to anyone. Origins was actually pretty fun. I liked it. It was definitely the best one they've done in years. Lego DC Villains, Beyond Good and Evil 2, another game that didn't have a release date. In fact, we've only seen one cinematic trailer that looked freaking awesome, but another game that Walmart decided to announce. Rage 2, the game that Bethesda was upset about. This one I'm really excited for because the first Rage was almost a hidden gem on the Xbox 360 and PS3. I never thought they'd do a sequel. That's arguably the biggest surprise out of all of this, just because it's so unexpected. Nice little black case and white text to go along with that surprise. Dreams, I don't know what that is. Don't know if I've been out of the loop. Maybe it's a new Nights into Dreams game, but I doubt it. Forza Horizon 5. This was the only thing that a lot of people were saying maybe this is fake. I think it's more likely a typo. We're actually up to Forza Horizons 4, not 5. But at the point where someone's gone through the effort to detail all of these games and get every single game coming out in the next year, and even some that apparently Bethesda admits that they're upset about, which means they knew Rage 2 was coming out. So that's definitely, I feel, a typo on their part more than it is proof that it's fake. And Gears of War 5, which I knew that was happening, and I've been really excited for a 5th game. So knowing it's coming next year, that's one of them things that makes having an Xbox One worth it. One of the few things that makes that system a must-have, in my opinion, is the Gears of War franchise. And there you have it. That's a lot of really hard work from a lot of developers and a lot of people trying really hard to keep that little baby secret and wait for the big E3, and they were just 2 months away, and Walmart said, no, we're destroying your hopes and dreams. It's sad. It's a little exciting. It could have been more exciting if it was an E3 presentation. All of that mixed with whatever Nintendo has coming would have made for an amazing, surprising E3. But speaking of Nintendo, let's do this one. I was sent this, actually, from someone on Facebook. I should have kept their name, and I want to thank you for sending me this because it's actually what gave me this entire video idea. And so I sent it to my friend Sean from RGT85, and he said that the place it came from isn't a very credible source. They've said things in the past which didn't end up being true. But I have seen this making the rounds, and a lot of people have messaged me since then and asked me what I think about it, or getting excited about all of these announcements. And there are so many on here that are true, and I feel like are honestly true facts, things that are actually gonna get announced. But a lot of them are like, I don't think so. No, I really don't think so. I think it's pandering to try and get it retweeted. But I'm gonna use it as a platform of actually telling you guys the things I've heard, the things I believe to be true about Nintendo's E3 presentation. So I'm not taking this and literally going, this sucks, it's wrong. I'm using it as a platform to get excited and talk about some of the things I haven't talked about yet. And the first thing is Nintendo's releasing details about their online service on May 7th. But I will use it as a platform because I have been one of those people that have avidly spoken out about, hey Nintendo, where's the online service? It's been a minute, can we at least get some information? We finally got some information and it was really great. There's a lot of options as far as pricing goes and it's super cheap. Even if you go for the most expensive one, which is 20 bucks for an entire year, that's not bad. Not to mention you can pay 35 bucks and activate 8 accounts on it. I'm assuming that's 8 accounts on the same Switch system, but even if you have 2 people that want to play online, you're saving 5 bucks, and that's not something that anyone else offers. The other thing that seems to be somewhat confirmed is that the idea of Virtual Console is apparently dead, and they've shifted their focus to the classic games, which seems to be more of the NES. And to be honest, I think if anything, that's why they were waiting to announce this, because they wanted to give the eShop enough time to build a great library of indie games and other games for you to play, so that when they said, we're probably not doing Virtual Console, the eShop's doing so well and there's so many games to play as it is, we don't have to rely on our Virtual Console anymore, we don't have to rely on the old games, you have all these new awesome ones and the new ones that we're making as well. Which is why in this article that it says GBA games in August and SNES and 64 being made available 2018, 2019. I think that considering how long it's taken to even get this information, this part just seems like pandering to me. This part seems like Virtual Console's dead, but here's some awesome GBA games and 64 games that are coming. So I'm not sure on that one, but I would love to see it. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up. The first reveal is Spyro Trilogy coming to the Switch. It's one of them things where I don't want to say no in case it ends up happening. There was so much hubbub made about Crash Bandicoot that I think it would be a good move. A lot of people are really excited about the Spyro Trilogy, Jordan Fringe. The next Fire Emblem is coming and finally has a title, Lustrous Daybreak. I hope that's not the title, but it does sort of go in line with their other titles. But it's been rumored that that Fire Emblem game is coming out in 2019, so it would make sense for them to announce it now with an actual title for the game, whatever that title may be. The new Yoshi game, that one's, yeah, it's about time. I'm surprised it didn't come out sooner, around the same time as Kirby. Subtitled Flipped Around, another, it makes, that to me looks like someone watched the trailer for the game and then made up a name for it. This is the one I'm very most skeptical about. New Paper Mario game is next and is not being developed by Intelligent Games, goes back to traditional partner style gameplay, but still heavily features the character limitations imposed for Sticker Star and Color Splash, coming 2019. Something everyone's been asking for is a Paper Mario that goes back to that old style, and that's what this is alluding to. But the last Paper Mario came out so late in the Wii U's life, I don't see a new one being made already. People already have a weird stigma about Paper Mario right now. The only reason I see all of this happening, including this, is Nintendo just wanting to take E3 home this year and knock it out of the park and just announce everything that they're possibly working on. If that's their mindset, I can see all of this happening. But assuming they're gonna play it close to the chest, I don't see that one happening. Mario DLC is next, Luigi being released that day as a playable character and adds 70 unique moons to the game. The further you go down this list, the more it's just, yeah, come on. And it's like, if they do these things, as I said, it will be amazing. And that's why I really am just so skeptical about this. Crash Bandicoot Amiibo is being made. Black Ops 4 Battle Royale is coming to Switch with crossplay to PC and Xbox. Sega reveals their Sega Ages line for the West. That one's probably going to happen. We've been hearing a lot about that. Sonic Racing is revealed and takes inspiration from Sonic R. Yeah, that's probably going to happen. We've already had that tease, so that one's not... yeah. Metroid Prime 4 gameplay trailer coming in 2019. 100% agreed, that one's obvious, gonna happen. Pokemon for Switch is revealed, new take on Red and Blue, and features graphics that are midway between Sun and Moon and Pokken. Too good to be true. I don't think they're far off with the way the graphics are gonna look, the old school way of playing, but with the Pokken style of actually making a decent looking game for once. But the Red and Blue is too... be a great idea though. 2 trailers for Smash Bros. For Switch are the last things. One reveals Captain Toad, the other reveals Crash Bandicoot. It's the same thing of this is what everyone would want. Every single thing on this list is literally what everyone would want from Nintendo. Every single one of these franchises, every single one of these games is complete pandering. It's either going to be pandering from this article or pandering from Nintendo. I would much prefer it to be pandering from Nintendo, because if all these things happen, come on, if all these things happened, it would be a great move, but I don't see it happening. Smash 5, in my opinion, or Smash 6, whatever way you want to look at it, is going to be on the same engine as the Wii U Smash, but with newer characters, newer stages, and maybe some updated textures. And it does say coming out in September, which is, I believe that to be true. It lines up with the online service. It gives people an incentive to get that online service because Smash Brothers just came out, and obviously they have all their old games that they can play online. They need something to come out with the online service to make it worth it at launch. And if the Pokemon game's gonna come out late this year, early next year, which is sort of what it's been slotted for, that's what the strong rumors have been, you want a gap in between those games. A big title about September leading up till Christmas, and then Pokemon either right before Christmas, or if they can't get it out before then, the start of next year. Also, the game is supposed to be playable at E3. You're supposed to actually go to E3 and play Smash Brothers. So if that is the case, I think September is definitely correct. And then they go on to say that they actually didn't see all of this, they don't know all of this, they had a contact tell them this, which does cover their butts if any of that is false. Well guys, that was a lot of information I just threw at your faces. What did you think about all of it? Do you feel like all the leaks in the gaming industry is a problem like I do? Do you think that's why we're seeing all these games being announced years early at E3? Do you think it leads to other complications and other issues? Let me know about all of that down below. Do you think all that Nintendo stuff was complete bull crappery? Do you think it was all fake? Or do you feel like a lot of it was actually real, or all of it was real? Let me know that down below. Or the actual confirmed Walmart leaks of all of these games, which one of those are you most excited for? And do you feel it's actually real? Or do you have your own reasons as to why that one was fake? That is so much. I need you to comment about all of it below. How else will we learn and grow as a community and a channel? I'm talking out my butt now. I'd like to thank all of the Patreons for supporting the show and making it as awesome as it possibly can be. Remember to like this video, subscribe, because we become best friends when you do so. And speaking of leaks, I gotta go take one.